when we talk about this broader discussion about programmatic, and is the industry going programmatic or not, it depends, there's many definitions of that term, I think, but the thing you hear time and time again is we've got to stop using, we've got to start with 1,000 emails for every buy and spreadsheets and marrying those up, and in fact, we're still faxing IOs, I can't believe this. So what have you guys both seen in terms of shifting your buying and execution of buys to using electronic tools? And maybe what's holding that up? Why doesn't everybody just do it? Let's just go programmatic, right? Like, why doesn't?
Well, I think first off, you really have to have a needs assessment, and you have to listen to the people that you're working with to understand what are the pitfalls when you're going to build something like this. And for us, it was, there was a real need that we wanted to be in this digital audio space, but we could not do it the way that it was currently built. We did not have the bandwidth. There would be a lot of human inputting errors that, we didn't want to have, and it was just critical for us that we be able to transact electronically. And now we've got it to the point where the inventory electronically uploads into MediaOcean. The buyer can go in and do the scheduling and the negotiating. We can order electronically. And most importantly, we can bill electronically. So it is a seamless, integrated process. I mean, there are certainly obstacles in the future, the ad tagging and tracking and things of that is in a second system. And so like our next need assessment that we're working is, how do we bridge that gap from, we've gotten this far now, but we want radio's very simple, and digital has a lot of technical capabilities that we want to take advantage of from a linear radio perspective, all of the targeting and all of the unique placements that it can bring. So we have to figure out a way to bridge that gap so that we can continue to make the process seamless.
Now, is the Pandora example unique and specific, or can you make that kind of progress and adoption across all your digital media, or even
right now? Pandora is really the gold standard.
Yeah.
I mean, they really are, and I'm not just saying that because she's sitting next to me, but in reality, they are very far in advance compared to a lot of their competitors, and they've all taken notice. So we are now having these needs assessment conversations with our other vendors because we want unduplicated reach. We want to make sure that we're reaching everyone, whether it's on Spotify or iHeart or whatever. So, but we need them to get to where Pandora is as far as transacting with us with scale.
Joanna, have you found, everybody's fear is that this is going to cheapen our inventory, right? Or you're going to programmatic means less people, cheap prices. No one ever talks, no one negotiates, no one does anything special. What have you found?
Not at all, because if we're going to use programmatic as the word to describe what is electronic transactions, it's the new flavor of how do we talk about all of this. What this is I guess native programmatic. We've taken what is kind of our core key product, and this. For those of you that are in the room of why we decided to go with broadcast radio first, it was kind of a no-brainer for Pandora. It is, our native ad is the audio ad.
Yeah.
And it really made a lot of sense to go there first. And because we've got rate parity, and because we're talking the same language, and because it's apples to apples, we're able to have a true negotiation with our partners. Now, the good news is, because we're also a digital property, we've got all sorts of other fantastic bells and whistles that we can offer to our clients, and I mean our clients at the end of the day, to really move the bar there. So it's actually allowed us to maintain rate in the audio space. I think the other piece of this is it really also speaks to what we were talking about earlier today around margin. One of the things, especially in the broadcast space, that was a pretty clear challenge for us going into this is how the radio deals are structured. And I'd love to give these guys a bit of a case study about one that we're talking about. But the parts and pieces when you're talking about either broadcast radio or broadcast TV. And I say broadcast TV because what this electronic transaction that we're talking about, the reality is today, if Jennifer or any of our other partners wanted to buy display, or they wanted to buy video, or they wanted to buy coffee cups, we don't sell coffee cups, but if they wanted to, they could, because we've created the transaction between the two systems. Now, are we measured?
The tools will translate.
The tools absolutely scale and absolutely translate. And in both the broadcast TV and the broadcast radio space, all of the parts and pieces, because you're talking about kind of the holy grail of local too,
Right.
get very excited about that, are very small. You're talking about weekly flighting. You're talking about swapping out creative throughout the week. And so things like we can't even have discussions around line item minimums. And when you look at it that way, you then say this has to be automated. You have to just do the math, just do the programming to actually get yourself to the finish line, because literally the teams on both the buy and the sell side would completely and utterly melt down to actually be even able to do a deal at the end of the day.